Hi again. Um, I just watched that last video, and it got cut off halfway through. So I'm just finishing off where I left off, and I was talking about when I get angry, when I'm manic, and how I say terrible things to people and say that terrible things are going to happen to them. Unfortunately, that's been uh, interpreted in the past by people as I am going to do those things. So they, fear for their lives and stuff. But that's never what is intended. What I'm telling them is what I believe is going to happen to them, but not at my hands. Or if it's going to be at my hands, it will be at some future time when the law says that I can do it. Say maybe, string the members of the Illuminati up by their testicles. Obviously, I at that time have no intention of doing it, but would like to be in a position to have that done to them at my command, I guess you could say, at some stage in the future, which is not the same. And times I've said to friends of mine that terrible things were going to happen to them, it was never that I was going to do them. If anything, I was going to try and protect them from that, and that I thought I was seeing the future about what was going to happen to them, and I wanted to protect them. So, yeah, that sort of stuff goes on when I'm manic. If I get pushed the wrong way by somebody, and that has happened pretty much every other time I've been manic, every other time, all the times where I've become psychotic, that's happened. And that's what has led me into becoming angry. And then the other side of anger is fear. Usually anger is a reaction to fear or hurt. So when I become afraid, then I become really paranoid, and I think that the helicopters are surveilling me, and there are people hiding in the bushes, and that there are listening devices all through my house, and the standard shit that happens when you're psychotic. People associate that with schizophrenia. But schizophrenia is a state where there are aspects of psychosis. You're either in full-blown psychosis, or you have difficulty just knowing what's true and what's not. But psychosis can arise from mania, from depression even. You can become psychotic when you're depressed. I have become psychotic when I've been depressed, or been depressed and been psychotic, which is not the same. But yeah, usually for me, psychosis comes rapidly after mania. If something happens during the manic episode or period, which tips me over the edge. But there have been manic episodes. I wouldn't call them episodes, because an episode is kind of like a sustained period of time, but that I enter manic states and come out of them again and come back to normal and no harm done. And that in some ways is kind of a little bit, sort of makes me think, well, I could go back there because it's such a lovely place to be. I can go back there and it will be okay because it was okay last time. And that's a little bit like taking drugs. The last drug trip I had was all right, was really good. Oh, but I had a bad trip. Oh, yeah, but this one will be okay. I sometimes have good trips. I sometimes have bad. I'm prepared to take the risk of having a bad trip because I might get to have a good trip. I might be able to experience that first massive high that I had the first time I ever tried them. And you can probably tell by what I'm saying that I have been addicted to drugs, and yes, I have. So I know what I'm talking about there. Yeah, there's not really anything else that I need to say to wrap this one up. So these videos will be in part 3. This one is the next day. Obviously, I look a bit different to what I did in the other ones, but yeah, I mean, this is me, normal. I mean, normal. Nobody thinks I'm normal. I'm so not normal, but this is normal for me. Certainly not normal in terms of the way people are in society, I don't think. I don't really know. Maybe I'm making a grandiose statement about the fact I'm just so unique and nobody else is like me. You can say the same about that. You can say that about anybody, actually. We're all unique. I feel pretty good. I don't feel flat. I feel pretty good. I feel capable. I feel hopeful about the future. I'm having a pretty good day. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what I'll feel like when I wake up tomorrow, or how I'll feel when I go to bed. It's one of the problems, or what is a problem? It's an aspect of bipolar disorder which isn't particularly flash. You don't know how you're going to be from one day to the next. Not really. And you certainly don't know how you'll be next month, or in 6 months' time. I mean, you hope that you'll be stable, but you really don't know. But it is really tricky. I say, I hope I'll be stable. Whereas when you're manic, you just hope you'll always be manic, and you never want to be anything other than manic. But I didn't really experience that the last time I was manic. I thought, well, this is nice. I'll make some videos, and I'll analyse what's going on, and I'll try and see what sort of insights I can have about my condition overall. But there wasn't any desire to keep the state going by, depriving myself of sleep or not eating, which are the two things that I often do when I'm manic to try and keep myself in that state. And they do work, but eventually something's got to give, and that's when I become unwell. It's interesting if people say, if you're manic, you're unwell. Well, yeah, I mean, if I think I'm top God and I'm out there busy trying to save the world in extreme ways, then yeah, I mean, that's unwell. It would have to be, really. Is it dangerous? Well, it depends on what you're doing. If I'm standing on a street corner and I'm saying, the end is nigh, I can help you because I'm God, I mean, it's not good for my reputation, I guess. And I mean, I might be unsafe because people might try and take me on, and they might throw rotten tomatoes at me or something. But dangerous as in a harm to myself or others? That's a very subjective analysis, and I think doctors draw the line a little bit too early. They sort of think, oh, this person's got grandiose ideas about herself. We better rein her in. She's a tall poppy and she needs to be chopped off at the knees. They wouldn't see it that way, because they say, well, we've seen this go bad before, and it's gone bad before, Lisa, so we don't want it to get to that point. But if they don't want if they're worried about mania leading to psychosis, then they're going to worry about hypomania leading to mania, and they do. And then it gets to the point where it's like they worry about any kind of happiness leading to hypomania, which for me is what happens if I become happy. Due to life events, things are starting to come together. My recovery is coming along in leaps and bounds from my last episode. Then I'm starting to feel happy. Then it's only a very short walk from there to hypomania. And, if the hypomania sticks around for long enough, it doesn't take much to tip me into mania. Mania to psychosis, there's a lot more that has to go on before I get to that. That's quite a different kettle of fish. And I'm trying to tease out where that line is and how to stay on the manic side of the psychosis. And I'm wary of the fact that I shouldn't be hanging out in a manic state for too often or for too long. And that I should try my best to avoid getting into that state, because it's not really truth. Well, aspects of it aren't truth. I can understand why I think the way I do. It actually does make a lot of sense, but ultimately, is it true? Some parts of it are. And I wouldn't like to say which parts are and which aren't. Am I top God? I don't think so. But I couldn't say I definitely am not top God. But I don't think I am. In this particular state of mind, I don't think I'm top God. But I do know that I'm God. I know that we're all God. Each and every one of us is God complete. God pretending to be a person and having a human experience. That's definitely true. I haven't doubted that in a long time. When I'm depressed, I forget it. And I keep saying, but I'm God. I can't be God if I'm having these experiences. And then I think, well, there are people having worse experiences than me, and they're as much God as I am. So, yeah, part of being God means having experiences that are like the opposite of what you think that God would be doing. And that makes sense because, you know, God is everything, the Alpha and the Omega and everything in between. So, but anyway, those are my thoughts on being manic, psychotic, hypomanic, and at baseline. And yeah, I don't think there's anything much more I need to say on that. I'm up to 10 minutes, and that's quite a good time limit. Better than the ones I've set for myself before, which I constantly broke. So, yeah, I hope that my comments have been useful, and I hope you have a good day.